Hey, you know what the real difference is between someone who builds wealth and someone who stays broke their entire life? It's not luck, it's not inheritance, it's not even how much money they make. The difference starts way before the first dollar ever hits their bank account. It starts in their mind. And today, I'm gonna show you the one secret that keeps rich people rich and poor people struggling, and trust me, it's simpler than you think. Hey there! It's your favorite little investor, the investing ant, and today we're rediving into something that might sting a little bit, but it's going to change everything for you. Because here's the truth, the game is rigged, but not in the way you think. It's rigged in favor of those who understand one simple principle. And once you get it, once you really lock this into your brain, you'll never look at money the same way again. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the secret that the wealthy use to never lose money. And I'm not talking about some complex hedge fund strategy or insider trading. I'm talking about something so fundamental, so powerful, that it operates invisibly in the background of every financial decision they make. And the crazy part, you can start using it today, right now, even if you're starting from zero. Here's the secret. Rich people don't think about money the way you do. When a broke person gets $100, they think, what can I buy with this? When a rich person gets $100, they think, how can I multiply this? See the difference? It's not about the amount, it's about the question. It's about the lens through which they see every single dollar that comes into their life. Let me paint you a picture from the colony. Imagine two ants. Both of them find a grain of rice. The first ant thinks, perfect, I'm going to eat this right now because I'm hungry. The second ant thinks, if I take this grain back to the nest and plant it near the moisture, it might sprout. And if it sprouts, I'll have 10 grains next season. Same grain, same ant, different mindset. And that difference, that's everything. Now, here's where it gets deep. The reason poor people stay poor isn't because they don't work hard. A lot of broke people work twice as hard as rich people. The reason they stay poor is because they see money as something to spend, something that flows out. Rich people, they see money as something to deploy, something that works for them while they sleep. They see dollars as little soldiers that go out into the world and bring back reinforcements. Think about it like this. When you carry a grain back to the nest, you're not just feeding yourself for today, you're building the food storage for winter. You're strengthening the colony. You're ensuring that next week, next month, next year, you're not starting from scratch. That's wealth thinking. That's how you never lose money, because you're not playing a spending game. You're playing a multiplication game. And here's the kicker, the part that nobody talks about. Rich people have trained themselves to feel pain when money leaves their hands without a return. They've literally rewired their brains. When they spend $1,000 on something that doesn't produce more money, it hurts. It feels wrong. But when they invest $1,000 into something that generates $2,000, that feels amazing. That's the dopamine hit. That's the reward. Meanwhile, most people are the exact opposite. They get a little rush when they buy something new. New shoes, new phone, new car. That's the dopamine hit. But when they invest money, when they tuck it away, when they put it to work, it feels like loss. It feels like they're missing out. And that, my friends, is the trap. That's the reason the wealth gap keeps growing, because the psychology is backwards. So how do you flip it? How do you rewire your brain to think like the wealthy? You start small. You start with one grain, $1, one decision. You take that next bit of money that comes in, and instead of asking, what can I buy? You ask, what can I build? Maybe it's $5 into a stock. Maybe it's $20 into a side hustle. Maybe it's $50 into learning a skill that'll pay you back 10 times over. It doesn't matter what the vehicle is. What matters is that you're starting to shift the operating system in your head. You're teaching yourself that money isn't for spending first. It's for multiplying first. And yeah, I know what you're thinking, but Aunt, I have bills. I have rent. I need things. I get it. I'm not saying don't pay your bills. I'm not saying live in a cardboard box and eat ramen for 5 years. What I'm saying is this. Even if it's 1% of your income, even if it's $1 out of every 100, start treating money as a tool instead of a ticket to temporary happiness. Because that shift, that tiny little shift, is what separates the builders from the consumers. Let me tell you a story. There was this ant in the colony. Let's call him Marvin. Marvin worked hard every single day, carried grain after grain, sun up to sundown. But Marvin had a problem. Every time he got a big haul, he'd throw a little party, share it all with his friends, feel like a hero for a day. And then the next week, he'd be back to square one, exhausted, frustrated, wondering why he could never get ahead. Then one day, an older ant pulled him aside and said, Marvin, you're working hard, but you're not working smart. Every grain you give away is a grain that could have fed you next winter. Every grain you consume today is a future grain you're stealing from yourself. And that hit Marvin like a ton of bricks. Because he realized he'd been playing the wrong game the whole time. He'd been optimizing for today instead of tomorrow. So Marvin changed. Not overnight, not dramatically, but grain by grain, decision by decision. He started keeping 10% of every haul, then 20, then 30. And within a year, Marvin wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. He had a stockpile, he had options, he had freedom, and all because he changed one habit, one mental switch. If this is resonating with you, drop a little ant emoji in the comments and let's grow this colony together. Because I want to know who's ready to flip the script. Who's ready to stop being Marvin before the lesson and start being Marvin after? Now, here's the part that's going to blow your mind. The secret to never losing money isn't about never taking risks. It's not about hiding your cash under a mattress. It's about understanding that every dollar you keep is a dollar that can defend you. Every dollar you invest is a dollar that can fight for you. And every dollar you spend without purpose is a dollar that's gone forever. Rich people protect their money like it's a member of the family. Because to them, it is. Every dollar represents time, energy, effort, opportunity. They don't throw it away on things that depreciate. They don't blow it on stuff that loses value the second they walk out of the store. They treat money with respect, with intention, with strategy. And look, I'm not saying you can't enjoy life. I'm not saying never treat yourself. What I'm saying is, make sure you're building the foundation first. Make sure the colony is strong before you start throwing the feast. Because when the foundation is solid, when you've got that financial base, that's when you can actually enjoy money without fear. That's when spending doesn't hurt you, because you're spending from abundance, not from scarcity. Here's the thing about ants. We're small, but we're mighty. Not because any one ant is strong, but because we understand the power of accumulation. One grain doesn't look like much, but 1,000 grains, that's a winter's supply. $1 doesn't look like much, but $1,000 invested smart, that's the beginning of freedom. The rich know this. They know that wealth isn't built in one big moment. It's built in 1,000 small decisions. It's built by saying no to the stuff that doesn't matter and yes to the stuff that compounds. It's built by protecting, by multiplying, by respecting every single unit of value that comes into your life. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to be rich to start thinking rich. You don't need $1 million to adopt $1 million mindset. You just need to make one decision today that's different from the decision you made yesterday. One grain, $1, one choice. So let me ask you something. Right now, today, what's one financial decision you can make that reflects this mindset? What's one way you can treat money like a builder instead of a consumer? Maybe it's opening that investment account you've been putting off. Maybe it's cutting one subscription you don't even use. Maybe it's taking $10 and putting it somewhere it can grow instead of somewhere it disappears. Whatever it is, do it. Not tomorrow. Not next week, today. Because the difference between rich and poor doesn't start when you have money. It starts right now. It starts with how you think, how you decide, how you see the world. And look, I know this isn't easy. I know the world is constantly screaming at you to spend, to consume, to keep up with everyone else. But you're not everyone else. You're part of this colony. You're someone who's willing to think different, to act different, to build different. So here's what I want you to remember. The secret that the rich use to never lose money is simple. They see money as a tool, not a toy. They see it as a seed, not a snack. They see every dollar as a potential soldier in their army of wealth. And once you start seeing it that way too, everything changes. The decisions get easier. The sacrifices feel lighter. The future gets brighter. Because you're not just working for money anymore. Money is working for you. So if this message hit home, if you're feeling that little spark of clarity, that little fire starting to burn, do me a favor, hit that like button, drop a comment and tell me what your first rich person decision is going to be. Subscribe so you don't miss the next lesson. And share this with someone who needs to hear it, because the more ants we get thinking this way, the stronger the whole colony becomes. And remember this, always. You don't have to be born rich to think rich. You don't have to have money to respect money. You just have to decide that from this moment forward, you're playing a different game, a smarter game. A game where every small step counts, every grain matters, and every decision moves you closer to the life you actually want. Because here, in our colony, every small step counts, and it's easier than you think.